Discipline hurts first, then it becomes a freedom. Disclaimer here before we get into everything. I'm just thinking out loud here. This is human slop, not a lecture. Alright, let's get into the video. Your brain is built to avoid pain. What I mean by that is comfort is the default setting. Discipline feels like a punishment because like you're rewiring the brain. Because when you are born as a baby, your brain is really lazy. And that becomes like what it means is like you seek comfort rather than discipline. You rather be comfortable than doing something that you're supposed to do, than doing something that you need to do. Because it's actually rewiring that brain. That's why it's hard. Your brain is built to avoid pain. Second point, every choice has pain. You just choose when. It might be easy now, it can be hard later. It can be hard now, it can be easy later. Or, there's every choice is hard. Just choose your heart. There's a saying like that. Getting a wife is hard. Not having a wife is hard. Having a baby is hard. Not having a baby is hard. Everything is hard. Pain is unavoidable. It's only scheduled and it's hard anyway. Just choose your own hardness. Third point, discipline is a self-trust. Every time you do what you said you would do, it increases your confidence. Because if you don't do what you said you were gonna do to yourself or to your friends, it decreases the self-trust that you have in yourself. That was actually happened to me for a long time, because that's been what I've been struggling with most. Because I've been telling people I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna buy this land, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna be consistent on my videos, I'll start working out, I'm gonna quit cigarettes, all that, but I failed all of them. It was too hard for me. I didn't consistently do it. And what I mean by too hard for me is you have to build that self-trust slowly. Because you're not that guy. You think you can achieve those goals you set to those people, but you actually cannot achieve those goals because you're not who you think you are. That is kind of an arrogance that you have. So it's important to realize your own level and then pick your goals appropriately so you don't fail them, which decreases your self-trust in yourself and the people around you. And that's really sucky. You don't want that. And obviously, when you start to build that trust, anxiety drops because you trust yourself. When you trust yourself, your anxiety drops. You're more able to do everything. It's so much fun. And then the thing is that weak people don't trust themselves. They overthink everything. Thus, why they have anxiety all the time. The NPCs. I used to be one of the NPCs, which is, life is okay. And so the fourth point will be motivation is a scam. Well, most of the days. Motivation is kind of random. It's not set like discipline. Motivation rises up and down depending on the day you had, depending on how you started the day, depending on the sun and moon cycles. I don't know too deep into this, but motivation is really random. It's not reliable, unlike discipline. Discipline is more reliable. You cannot build a life on the mood. See, discipline is a pain with purpose. Just think of that. Discipline is more reliable. You can build a life on it, unlike motivation. Fifth point, the boring phase is where the winners are made, right? First few weeks, for example, this videos I'm making, the first few weeks, there's no results, I'm getting no views, it's just suffering. I wouldn't say suffering, it's actually pretty enjoyable to make those videos. I'm actually getting good at it, good at talking. I'm rewatching all my videos, getting better at talking, more articulate, I can understand myself, better disclaimers, yada yada boom. Your body, your mind, and ego all complain. They're all complaining because, dude, I'm doing all this. I'm recording these videos. My voice hurts, but no one's watching it. Why? No clue. But I'm doing this because why not? You know, it's like then that's I believe that's where I believe the winners are made. Even if I'm not getting no views right now, even if no one's watching, even if there's only one person that's watching me right now, you know, that's the boring phase. And then other than the YouTube, I'm doing some other things. So most people quit at this stage, right before where it flips. So I could be doing this for like 2, 3 months, even a year. Doesn't matter. I think I'll be doing this consistently because it's actually turned out to be pretty fun. It was like not as hard as I thought, which is which is pretty fun. So the sixth phase, oh bro, sixth point, dopamine. So dopamine is a real enemy. Your phone, you got an instant reward with your phone. And your dopamine spikes, you don't feel life anymore. Because like real life, it's actually pretty slow. Real life very slow. But phone, very fast. And when you're used to living in the fast motions in the phone, when you go into real life, you just feel meaningless. Life just feels like life feels meaningless, and that's why you cannot really achieve it because like your brain actually prefers something that you're comfortable with, something that's fast, instant reward. Because like phone gives you instant reward and it's super fast. Real life it's slow and the rewards are slow. Everything about it is slow. You have to takes time and patience. So if your brain is trained on instant dopamine, discipline feels basically impossible. So, seventh point, discipline isn't doing more. It's not about doing more. It's kind of about doing less of the stupid stuff. For me, for example, it would be start smoking less. That will be less stupid for me. You know? Less scrolling, less junk food, less excuses, and more consistency. You know? Consistency, you might think it might mean do more. No, doing more in this kind of term, it means like you don't have to do excess, let's say consistently every day, but you don't go all out every day. That's doing more. You could do more, but discipline isn't about that. It's about just consistently showing up every day, do whatever, like do whatever. Let's say you're focusing on gym, kind of get good at it. So you go to gym, I don't know, you can be there for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. It's just like, as long as you get to the gym that day, that's 1 point. That's 1 point for you. And you get to the gym next day, that's 2 points for you. You don't have to go to the gym, like lift like bench press 500 kilograms on that first day. You don't have to do all that. Do less. Just be more consistent about it and do less stupid stuff. Eighth point, freedom is not doing whatever the fuck you want. It's more so about being able to say no to yourself. Because like doing whatever you want is like a slavery to your urges. Think about it. Because like, are you really free if you're a slave to your urges? You think I want to jerk off, you jerk off. You think I want to eat junk food, you jerk off, you eat junk food. You say you wanna be on your phone, and you be on your phone, scroll. Isn't that why you are kind of a slave and struggling in your life right now? So freedom is not doing whatever the fuck you want. It's more so about saying no to yourself, and that's the real freedom. Because like actually, you are not who It might be weird, but you're not the one who actually thinks. Most of your thoughts are not original. It's not from you. It's just from the most of the 90% of the thoughts you get is not from you. You might think, I'm thinking how it could be not me. It's not you, trust me. It's just not you. Even the thoughts you get is not you. It's like influenced from what you watched that day, what kind of talks you had that day. Because like how could it be you if you say you want to make a business the other day and then the next day you want to eat junk food and fuck business? That's definitely not you. Real thoughts are the thoughts that you think purposefully. If you force yourself to think elephant, or like, doesn't have to be elephant, like you say to yourself right now, purposefully, that you wanna crack your fingers purposefully, then that's your thought. If it was just like a random urge, that's not your thought. Like if the thought just come out of nowhere, it's probably not yours. So, ninth point, the identity shift. You have to shift your identity. You don't have to be like, don't be, don't be saying that I'm trying all the time. Like I'm trying. But just say, I'm the type of person who doesn't negotiate with excuses. You say you're trying, but you're not really trying. You're saying I'm trying to do this, but XYZ is stopping me. My parents are stopping me. Life is shitty. That's what I'm trying leads to. Just say I'm the type of person who doesn't negotiate with excuses. It's a pretty good phrase. And make it about who you are. Because like you just be that person who says that, and that identity shift could help you potentially with discipline, I'd say. And it seems like that worked for me, because it worked for me. I'm just speaking from my life experience, right? 10th point, discipline gives you options. Discipline gives you money options, relationship options, confidence options, health options, respect options. All those options, because like you're disciplined. For example, before I used to be disciplined. No, I'm not really disciplined nowadays, but like writing off my success. What I used to do is like I was just a lazy NPC, right? I didn't do anything. I was fat. I was lazy. I had long hair. I'd be on Discord and Roblox all day, all night, playing games, especially during Corona. But what happened is I decided to change my life. I broke my phone, literally smashed it into pieces because I was pissed off at that phone, and didn't have phone for 3 months. And that day I was meditating every day, journaling, working out, all that. It was so great, super great. And then got this discipline, and then suddenly had these options. I had clarity. I wanted to do things. So I simply left school because I had other options now. Because of my discipline, because of my hard work, people seen it and they gave me some options. Or options could be something else, something that comes from you. And then because of that, I left school. Now I'm working, and now I'm doing these videos. I'm doing sales. Dude, life is going great. Supporting my family. Holy, like I'm not making that huge amount of money. Let's be real, but still, the money I'm making right now it's enough for me. It's lovely. Life is going great. So discipline gives you lots of options. That's one of the great things about discipline. And point 11 is that the hardest part is just starting, not not maintaining it. Maintaining it is kind of it just you maintain it stuff, because like the starting is hard because you're not used to it. You have to, at the first point it said it's reviving your brain, because like comfort is your default option, and you have to rewire your brain. And my starting point was when I got pissed off and broke that phone. And after I broke that phone, well, I didn't really have much to do other than going to school and working out and then meditating and stuff. So I did that. And then now I'm here making videos. I never thought I'll be making videos like this at all. It was not in my expectations. So yeah, it's not really about starting it. It's just about, I don't know what I'm saying. The hardest part is starting, not maintaining it. Starting is like an ego death. Maintaining becomes normal. Your brain stops screaming eventually. Trust me. It'll start screaming eventually. And the 12th point is like the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody will. People will come and give you options, opportunities, but there is no one is there to save you. That's one thing that's true. You might think your parents are there, but parents are gonna die. No friend of yours are gonna support your life. It's only you and you only. So believe in yourself, trust yourself. You're the only one who's on your side. And if you're not on your side, who will be on your side, right? So there's no savior. There's no perfect moment. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Just take action. There is no perfect moment than now. That's one of the biggest advice. There is no other perfect moment than now. No? Either you build yourself or you stay the same. Freedom is earned. It's not felt. You know? You don't need motivation. You just need some self-respect, and that's all. And stop chasing comfort. Comfort is a drug, and everyone is addicted, apparently. And doing nothing is still a decision. Trust me. And you know, if you feel lost, just move. Movement creates direction.